So this wasn't the video I had planned to make today, but I've been in a weird mood lately and I get asked questions like this a lot, so I thought I'd talk about the meaning of life. Now, this isn't just my personal subjective view, and I have tried to objectively determine the meaning of life, and at this point in time, I don't think any of us really can know the meaning of life, why we're here, and why we or anything exists. But we can get insight into answering that question by looking at the world around us, and I've heard religious people say science can tell you how, but it can't tell you why. But I think knowing how can give you insight and bring you closer to knowing why. And of course, you all know my stance on religion. It's bullshit. There is no God, and I think the belief in God only brings us further away from knowing the meaning of life. But I'll get to that later. Now, we don't know exactly how the universe began, but the best theory we have right now is the Big Bang Theory, and the theory states that this tiny, super concentrated ball of energy exploded, which created the universe, and as this energy expanded, it allowed matter to form, and the first element to form was, of course, hydrogen, as it has the lowest atomic mass, and due to gravity, stars began to form, which are just giant balls of hydrogen. And because stars are so massive and have so much gravity and heat, fusion reactions occurred within these stars, and then helium, along with all other elements on the periodic table, were formed within these stars, and other elements that have a very high atomic mass, like uranium, required even more energy to be created, and were formed from supernovas. And everything in the universe, all of the planets, solar systems, and galaxies were made from these simple balls of hydrogen, which came from this one simple super concentrated ball of energy. We keep seeing an evolutionary process where things keep getting more and more complex, and just as the universe has become more and more complex, what we call living organisms keep getting more and more complex. This matter that is all around us and that we are made of, that was created by the stars, ended up creating life through the process of abiogenesis, and all life originated from a single-celled organism, and due to random genetic mutations and the process of natural selection over billions and billions and billions of years, multicellular organisms emerged, getting more and more complex as time went on, and eventually these organisms developed consciousness. And remember, all of these organisms, including us, are just made up of matter that was created from fusion reactions within stars, which were created from an expanding universe that came from a tiny little ball of supercondensed energy. And I quote Carl Sagan, "We are a way for the cosmos to know itself." And our consciousness is continuing to evolve. Thousands of years ago, we had no science, but we still had a desire to understand the world around us and find out why we are here, and so we created gods, deities, and religions to help explain things. But our consciousness kept evolving just like all other organisms in existence, and just like the universe itself, and we developed science and the scientific method, which is still the best, most accurate way of determining and discovering the truth, and religion and the belief in God is just a dead end in an evolutionary tree. So what I'm trying to get at here is we may not know the ultimate meaning of life right now, but the universe wants us to keep evolving, and we are a part of that evolving universe. So the meaning of life for us right now is to be a part of progress. If we continue the social and scientific progress of humanity, improve ourselves, and increase our knowledge and understanding, then eventually we may actually know the meaning of life. And we can't know for sure what the next step in human evolution really is, but I think it's with robotics and AIs. We're close to creating a true artificial intelligence which will end up surpassing our own intellect, and which can improve upon its own design, and who knows what will happen then, but I think that is going to be the next step in our evolution. So, I hope this video was interesting and gives you something to think about. Leave a comment down below and share what you think. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And here's a dog eating a banana.
Beef. What a relief. When will this poisonous product cease? This is another public service announcement. You can believe it or you can doubt it. Let us begin now with the cow. The way it gets to your plate and how.